I promise. I promise. I promise. It's okay to mess up your kids. I really do. There are so many moms that are reaching out to me right now that are really freaking out is a good word about whether or not they're going to mess up their kids. And I wanted to come on and let you know you are, in fact, going to mess up your kids. And that's a good thing. Your kids are destined to not fit perfectly into the world if you homeschool them. This is such a good thing, and it took me so long to embrace this. The reason is as a homeschooler, once you settle in and you're focusing on the heart and the attitude and the character of your kids, so you're looking at them from the inside out, and you can see that a character issue or a heart issue or an attitude problem is more important than a math problem or a science lesson. Once you see that, you are absolutely going to mess them up. And let me explain what that means. As you are teaching your kids and you're focusing on them from the inside out and you are shooting towards your master homeschool goals, what's going to happen to your kids is that they're going to get a twinkle in their eye. Oh, they're not going to be, they're going to be excited. They're going to be excited to learn. This may take a little bit of time if you're brand new to homeschooling, because some of us take longer to shake off the idea of producing a public school looking setting at home. I never did that. I never did that well. I tried it and it failed miserably. But once you shake that off and once you embrace teaching your own kids, it's gonna mess them up. They're not gonna be dull and bored. They're gonna be excited and engaged. They are going to enjoy, this one trips people out, but they're gonna enjoy hanging out with mom. And dad. And people that are older than them. There's something about being homeschooled that takes away this standard of kids can only hang out with kids their own age. It demystifies this whole age gap thing. My boys last night had company over and they had they had 3 different friends over, and my husband and I helped facilitate the food. So we helped make sure that they had their 90-second wood fire pizza, because you feed teenagers well. And what we watched happen was the kids were chit-chatting and having a good time. And then one of the girls came in and she's like, I just want to hang out with you guys. Because when you are homeschooling and you're dealing with the heart first, the kids know that they're welcome in your area, in your zone. They know that you are safe and accepting and loving and kind. And so it creates this environment of welcomeness and hospitality. And so this young gal chatted our ear off for a long time. She's super fun. And we loved every word that she spoke. For me, it was a treat because there are no girls in my house except me. So just to hear words rather than grunts and groans was welcome. And then we slipped outside and I sat and I chatted with the other young gal that was there, and sweet and kind and engaging and fun and intelligent and sincere, just loved it. And then there was a young man that was there that I had never met before. And I just jumped right in as if I had always known this kid. He's 18. And really fun, intellectual, quirky, nerdy interaction with these kids. And I find that this is the norm for homeschool families that focus on the heart of their kids over academics. Don't get me wrong, learning is important. But our kids are learning from us all the time. They learn, what do you do if you stub your toe on a door jamb? What kinds of words come out of your mouth? So they learn from us all the time. They learn, what do you do when people come over? How do you accept them into your life? They learn what to do with the shopping cart when you're done putting the groceries into the car. They learn, what do you do with laundry after it magically makes it through the washer and the dryer, etc. But when you focus on their heart, the kids become excellent company for each other and for different ages and stages. I've noticed that now my boys are normal teenagers. They're 15, almost 17, 18, and then I've got a couple olders, 22 and 20 something, 27 or 8. And what I've noticed is that they can adjust whoever they're talking to. It doesn't matter if the child is 2, 22, or 92, the boys will just come right in and have a conversation because they don't look at an age and put them in a box and say, oh, I can talk to this person. Instead, they actually see the people. And I find this to be true with homeschooling. So it's going to mess your kids up. They're not going to fit neatly into their peer box anymore. And that's a good thing. They're going to have that twinkle in their eye, and that's a good thing. So they are going to be, I'm going to put twinkle. They're going to be excited. They're going to be good company. Not always. Some of them are going to be quiet and quirky and weird. I am. I like to kind of sit back and listen to what everybody's doing. It doesn't mean that they're going to be expert communicators by the time they're 12. It does mean, though, that they're going to be more and more comfortable with different ages. They're also going to not be satisfied with the answer. They're going to want to know why. Why does it have to be that way? Is there another way to get to this same destination? They're going to be amazing question askers. And this is what we want, because we want to mess our kids up so that they think for themselves, that they can filter through information and find fact. They can stand on solid ground. Let me shake everything so it falls. So they can ask. They're going to be amazing, not all of them, but some of them are going to be amazing chatters. Oh boy, they're not just going to be getting done with school. They're going to want to tell you all about everything that they're learning. In our local area, there is a new scary hornet called a murder hornet. And so the boys, as they're learning about this insect, are going to tell you about it if you bump into them on the street, because they're excited about what it is they're learning. And they don't see learning as school. That's going to mess your kids up. School is not going to fit in a nice, neat little box anymore. It's going to be part of everything that you do. That's a good thing. The other thing is that your kids are going to become experts. Oh, if you give them opportunity, they will become expert something. Expert Lego builders, expert organizational type people, expert musicians, expert help seekers, expert researchers, expert writers, screenwriters, designers, artists. If you give them time, they will have the ability to develop their skill and to be well ahead of their peers by the time they're 18, 19, 24. And I've seen this with all of my kids. It's amazing what happens when you mess up your kids and you are educating them and exciting them to learn and giving them opportunity to invest in things that they love. For example, my youngest son just turned 15. And this last year, we opened the textbook, gasp, I sometimes use books, and it hit the chapter on fungus. And my 14-year-old at the time went like this, fungus? And I closed the book and I hid it and I said, let's talk about it. I go, let's go for a walk. And so he said, okay, because he wanted to get away from the textbook. And as we walked out the door, I handed him my camera. And I said, I wonder if there are any mushrooms around. Why don't we go for a walk and can you take pictures? And sure enough, he started taking pictures. And every day for the next week, we went on a mushroom walk. And about actually it was longer. We did it for about 2 weeks. About 5 or 6 days into our daily mushroom walk, He's taking pictures from different angles, dew coming from the sun. He's about 20 feet away from me and he goes, "Hey, Mom." I go, "What?" He goes, "I really thought fungus was going to be boring, but it's unbelievably cool." Yay. I messed him up. Okay. I messed him up because I tricked him, sorta. I saw that what he really wanted to do was be a photographer. And I found an opportunity to have him exercise that photography passion toward what I wanted him to learn. And what he ended up doing in the course of 2 or 3 weeks was he took fantastic pictures of mushrooms. Oh my gosh. We found all the different kinds. We learned about the mycelium, that it connects the web of everything. Fantastic. We saw all the different life cycles of mushrooms. We found exploding mushrooms. So he took all of these amazing photographs and he created a kit of photographs that he now sells. He also created worksheets and a learning packet with me. We designed the learning packet that now we sell on the side. And so this kid that rolled his eyes about fungus became an expert on mushrooms and used that excitement to then develop his photography skills, which is his passion. And I was able to teach him computer skills and some entrepreneurial skills as well. So it was a big win. I'm telling you, if you homeschool to the heart, you're going to mess your kids up, and it's a good thing. The other thing your kids are going to get really good at, and this one's for you too, embrace the power of yet. Don't let your kids say, "I can't." Don't tell yourself you can't. I can't do math. I can't solve word problems. I can't write an essay. I can't homeschool my kids. Right at the end of that statement, you put the word yet. I can't solve math problems yet, but with practice and some coaching, I will be able to succeed. I feel like I can't homeschool my kids yet, but once I understand that it's okay to mess up and I can concentrate on their heart, then I know I'm going to get it. It's awesome. Embrace the power of yet. Mama, it's okay to mess up your kids. I promise. I actually want you to mess up. You want to mess up. You want your kids to swim upstream. I always have told my boys that being the type of person that their dad and I are raising them to be is like being a salmon swimming upstream. You'll know that you're going the right direction because the world will be rushing past you at full speed going in the opposite direction. The journey is hard. The water is pushing against you. And there are rocks and bears waiting to knock you out of the water every step of the way. But as you are swimming upstream, as you are messing up your kids and making sure that they have twinkles in their eye and good company and that they ask questions and that they love to chat with different people and they're experts, you're going to find that your kids stick out like sore thumbs. And it's a good thing. And that they'll have strength of character. They'll have grit. They'll have that twinkle in their eye because when you're sharing something really cool, they're going to lean in. They're going to be like, "What? Tell me more about this thing," whatever it is. They'll be engaged. If somebody trips and falls, they're not going to laugh at them. They're going to rush to their aid and they're going to see if they can give them any assistance. They're going to have compassion for people. They're going to care. They're not just going to carelessly throw venom out on social media. Oh, there's a learning curve. And they're going to mess up. Like they're going to legitimately mess up. You're going to legitimately mess up. You may overschedule your homeschool day. You may require math drills and practice and homework and quizzes and tests and repractice and memorization and flashcards that first week of school. And you may watch your kids sink in their chair like, "Oh my gosh, send me back to school." You may overdo it. You may try to do math, English, writing, grammar, spelling, reading, history, science, art, and music all on Monday morning. Don't do it. But once you find your rhythm, and once you realize that if you just focus on your kid's heart and you feed into their passions, you concentrate on the core of the foundation of learning, but you get creative with it. You look at their math page and you say, oh, fractions. Hey, let's make brownies. And let's double the recipe. So it's no longer 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Now it's 3/4 twice of a cup of sugar. Can we figure out what that is? You look at the writing assignment and you realize, hey, they're just learning about writing letters. Who on the planet, and you ask the kids, who on the planet do you think would be most excited to receive a letter from us? They're going to know. They're going to think of somebody. They may even say something like, what's a letter? Oh my gosh, please teach them what a letter is. It's so cool to get letters in the mail. So you can then write them, you can write people letters. You can take a whole week writing letters to people. You can take a whole year of writing a friendly letter campaign of sharing sunshine and happy thoughts to people, all in your sphere of influence. You can look at their history book and you can see that you are supposed to be studying the Civil War. And you can go to the library with a big box and you walk up and you ask, well, you may have to call ahead of time these days, but you ask the librarian, how many picture books am I allowed to check out? And they'll tell you, and it'll be a big number, like 30 or 100. And you can then ask their help to find every picture book in the library on the Civil War. And you fill the box and you bring it home and you just put the books all around the windowsills and on your bookcases, just like a library display. And you tell your kids, these are library books, so we're going to take care of them, and you teach them how to take care of the books. And then you just walk away and you let your kids explore the books. You watch them from around the corner. Which books are catching their attention? Is it the comic strip books? Is it the big encyclopedia style books? Are they the story books? Which ones are they bringing you on the sofa and saying, would you read this to me? And then now you start to get a feel of what kinds of things they're drawn to. So when you move on from the Civil War to the Revolution or to anything, and you go back to the library with all of your books, and then you check out all the books on the next one, you know which ones you can start to fine tune and feed them what it is they want to learn. Homeschooling. You're gonna mess up your kids. I was completely and totally against homeschooling at the beginning of our homeschool journey 1.5 million years ago. My husband kind of tricked me. He said, give it a try for 1 year. If you hate it, at the end of the year, we'll find something else that we can do with our kids. And I went like this, like the good obedient wife, fine. And then I fell in love with it. I fell in love with being there as my kids were discovering things and learning things and bringing me stories and saying things like, oh, read it again, please. And just watching them and being with them and enjoying their company and seeing this twinkle. Like, I didn't want to share that back with other teachers again. And so I want that for you as well. Now homeschooling's not easy, because the same kids that will bring you that book and say, please read it to me again, will also pull their brother or sister's hair and beat them over the head with that same book 2 minutes later. They might even pick up the page and tear it because they're angry. Homeschool people are real people. We deal with real challenges. My dryer does not fold and put away my laundry. And actually, if you leave it sitting there, oh my gosh, the smell that comes from the dryer is horrific. We're going to mess up our kids. It's okay. They shouldn't fit in. They should be able to look at something and to say, I don't know enough about that to have an intelligent conversation. So let me do some research and then I'll get back to you. They should have that twinkle in their eye. They should have the ability to be experts at something. Mama, you got this. You're not going to mess your kids up as in break them. You're not going to ruin their education. You're not going to ruin their chances at success. If you hid every textbook on the planet and you read to your child, and you gave them their basic math skills, and you taught them how to ask questions and to be expert help seekers, if you taught them to see people of all different ages, shapes, sizes, colors, and all the rest, and to engage in conversation, not to judge a book or a person by their cover, if you teach them the power of the word yet, at the end of the day, at the end of the rainbow, when they pack their bags and they say, Mom, I'm on my way, you're going to be so excited with who they are. Now, is it a success recipe guaranteed? Of course not, because every child will decide what to do with the education that they are given, and they will make wise or unwise choices. However, you are going to mess them up, and it is a good thing. So anyway, this is Becky with The Better Way to Homeschool. I hope this encourages you and gives you some excitement and some fodder, some fertilizer, some ideas for how you can embrace this whole journey, mess up your kids along the way so that they don't fit in. Have a great day.